Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from the Family Folk Machine in Iowa City, Gene Littlejohn. Hi, Gene.
Hi.
And John Renard. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Great to have you both here. Great that the Family Folk Machine is continuing and back in person, which we'll talk about in just a minute because you have an outdoor concert coming up. But Gene, let's start with you. So since you've moved back in person, this has made your job a little easier because I know you were chief mixologist for all of the streaming concerts last year. So you had a ton of work to do to get those ready to stream. And this has got to feel a little bit
Mixology this fall. Yeah, that's been fantastic. And today I was just thinking, wow, I haven't had GarageBand open for many days or even weeks now. It's really fantastic. Instead, seeing singers in person and trying to do some of that mixing and balancing between actual sections in real time, like a real choir director. So it's very, very exciting. Yeah.
working with actual bodies instead of waveforms.
Yeah, in 3D. It's amazing.
Well, you have been, so tell me how rehearsals have been going, because I know that what you've been doing is you've been working outdoors this fall.
Yeah, we have been meeting at Lower City Park, and we're really grateful to the Iowa City Johnson County Senior Center and the Iowa City Division of Parks and Recreation for all their help in getting us set up for this outdoor session. We've been meeting in a park shelter, and uh, John and I and Alma Drake, and we put so much planning into how to make this work outdoors. And I at least was quite nervous about it, all the like making sure we had all the right gear. And but once we did all that, it's actually been very smooth. We've been super fortunate with the weather. We've had a string of dry, warm Sundays and no complaints there. And it's actually been really nice to be outdoors this fall and surrounded by trees and close to the river, and we've been really surprised and pleased with how things have worked.
This, of course, is a festival stage, the same one that Riverside Theater uses in the right there in Lower City Park, and just one of my favorite facilities, and it's so great to see
So
it being used
yeah,
more.
it's so beautiful. We've had the singers on the stage the last couple Sundays, and I hopped up on the stage myself, and and most audience members don't think to go on the stage maybe and see what that view is like. But wow, you're on the stage and there's this beautiful vista in front of you with the river in the background, and it's really nice, and it sounds good on the stage too. So it's a great place to perform.
Concert is coming up Sunday, October 10th. John, tell me a little about the program.
Well, the program, it's about, and Gene, correct me if I'm making these numbers up in my head, but it's about 6 or 7 songs total, which is about, I would say,
It's I think it's more like 11, John.
oh dear. Well then, I'm so overwhelmed by the quality of music, I can't count anymore. But anyway, it is less than what we would normally do for a session, but we have a lot shorter preparation time as well. And but the music is all feel-good music, and it's all about getting back together and celebrating all the things that music is and can be, and it acknowledges the tricky times that we're in, but also in a positive way. And it's a great variety.
Hmm.
It's within that family folk machine structure, from Ringo Starr to a group called the Alternate Roots to Pink. We're doing a song by Pink, and so I mean, there's just a great variety. And there's a in the Talking Heads, the kids are doing a song by the Talking Heads, which is great. And there's an original tune, at least one that will be done. So it's a great variety, and we just hope people really enjoy it and embrace it for what it is. And so that's where
Is this the first time the choir has tackled Pink?
It is.
I think so. It's a great song, and it's sort of it was written during the pandemic, is my understanding, and it's a song called "Cover Me in Sunshine," and it's all about getting back out, and that we know that we'll be able to get together again. We know we'll have all these things, and so it's it's a great tune, and it features the kids as well. So that's great.
And you mentioned an original tune. I know you always put at least one original song on the program. And does that come out of the songwriting program that's a part of Family Folk Machine?
This session doesn't have any original Family Folk Machine tunes, actually, partly because we were trying to keep things shorter, but we do have two songs featured by Iowa City songwriters. We are titling the concert after a Greg Brown song, Never So Far. And it's a really beautiful song about how the love we have for our family or our other loved ones can cross distances. And even when we can't be together, that love binds us together. And it's just really beautiful. And we're also doing a song by the Iowa City songwriter Deb Talon of the Weepies. It's a song called I Wake in Joy. And a lot of the choir members have found that the lyrics of that song just really speak to them during this time. It's just very poetically beautiful and also musically beautiful. So it's been a real pleasure to learn that song with the choir too.
What's been the biggest challenge about these outdoor rehearsals as you've been getting ready? Of course, normally we would probably say, well, weather, but you're right. Weather has been pretty perfect. So that's gone well.
John, what do you think about?
The challenges have been pretty easily overcome, actually, but they've been, how are we going to hear each other? How are we going to stand and still feel like we're having enough social distance, even with masks? How are we going to, people that aren't comfortable coming to a rehearsal yet or can't, how are we going to impart this information to them? And so it's been technologically, you wouldn't think being outdoors would have such heavy technology involved, but it turns out that it has. And we're very thankfully to the Senior Center for setting us up with a way to live stream or remote or record these rehearsals and then be able to share them, which is great. And I think it's always a concern of weather, but we have a small baby sound system that we set up and we plug into, and we do our best to make sure everybody can hear what's happening with a portable keyboard, guitars. So it all has worked out so far really well. And
Yeah.
yeah.
We're grateful that we received a nice grant from the Iowa Arts Council, and that enabled us to buy a special streaming camera that John was mentioning, that we've been able to stream our rehearsals with the intention that if choir members are feeling a little under the weather, that they make that choice to stay home and they can feel like they're not missing out, because the stream quality is actually really high, and they can be at home and feel like they're still with us because they can hear and they can see the directors and everything. And it was really tricky getting that going at first, but once we got it set up with a lot of help from the Senior Center, it's been really slick, actually, and that's something that we hope to carry into the future. There's something about the pandemic that has made, I think, probably a lot of choir directors think differently about cold and flu season and the sort of general germiness of a choir. And so one of my, like, a silver lining from the pandemic, could it be that we could figure out some mechanisms for keeping choirs healthier just in general going forward? So this is one of our solutions.
I think the days when if you were sick, your first thought was, I'm going to suck it up and go anyway. I think all of us are thinking twice about that now and being a little more conservative.
Yeah, that's a good impulse.
The concert is Never So Far. It's in the festival stage, City Park, Iowa City, coming up Sunday, October 10th at what time?
3
3?
p.m. 3 p.m. And the concert is free. We'll accept donations gladly, but yeah, no cost barrier. Just show up. And we're asking the audience to wear masks because people will be a little bit close together, most likely. And we want everybody to feel free to sing along. We have a couple good songs for singing along that we're going to teach a little bit, and we just want to be able to do that in a safe way.
And is this also the season, as you look ahead to the future, where you'd be welcoming new members?
We will. We haven't made any firm plans about a start date for a spring session. Usually we start in January, and knowing that our concert was going to be outdoors, we scheduled it much earlier than we usually would. We usually have a November concert, so we have kind of a gap here, and we're going to do at least one smaller outside performance, I think, in November for a kids literature festival. Actually, that will be really exciting at Sidekick Books. But if anyone is interested in joining us for the spring session, which promises to be really fun, just get in touch with us through the Family Folk Machine website, and we can get you on the list so that you receive that information when we're ready to announce it.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad that you found a way to get back together physically after such a challenging year and a half that we've all had, and looking forward to the concert, which is October 10th at 3 o'clock in Lower City Park. And again, as Jean said, if you'd like to know more about this event, or maybe get on the list to find out about the spring season and maybe get involved in the coming months, you can just visit familyfolkmachine.org. Jean Littlejohn and John Renard, thanks so much for being with me today.
Dennis, thanks so much for having us. It's great to see you again.
Likewise. You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:20, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org, or however you get your podcasts. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.